Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. In today's video lecture, we will talk about one of the most important topics in English literature, literary terms or um, literary devices, we can say, are the figures of speech. So this is this is very important topic, and it is useful for lectureship tests and other competitive exams. So you must understand it very carefully, and we will have the examples of literary terms as well and sentences so that you can identify which literary device is there in a particular sentence. So let's begin. These are the literary terms that we will be discussing in this video: metonym, hyperbole, allusion, alliteration, anaphora, apostrophe, imagery, and we will also discuss types of imagery and simile, metaphor, onomatopoeia, paradox, oxymoron, Synecdoche, personification, and Caesura. And they are most common literary terms and most common in different tests and different lectureship exams. So we must understand them very carefully. So let's begin with the simile. A simile is a comparison between two dissimilar things, two different things, by using like or as. So whenever we compare two objects, two things which are totally different, and when we use like or as to compare them, we use a simile. For example, he is as brave as a lion. So as brave as strong as, or he is a brave like a lion. अगर ऐसा like and as use ताकि then it becomes a simile. You are clever like your brother. So here we have used like, so it is also a simile. She is as thin as a toothpick. So it here as thin as is used, and so it is also a simile. He's as blind as a bat. As cool as a cucumber. Now metaphor. Metaphor is also a comparison like simile, but it does not use like or as. So when we compare two objects without using like or as, then it becomes a metaphor. We just directly say you are a lion. We do not say you are like a lion. So when we say you are a lion, you are a lion, it is metaphor. But when we say you are like a lion, or you are as strong as a lion, so it becomes simile. Here are the examples of metaphor, like all the world is a stage from Shakespeare. You are a lion, as I told you. You are my sunshine. Her eyes were fireflies. So here we are comparing eyes directly with the fireflies, and we are not using like or as. It is a metaphor. But if we say her eyes, sorry, it is her eyes, not here. Her eyes were as red as fireflies, or her eyes were as shining as fireflies. The poetry sound simile thi venya. So here it is a metaphor. Laughter is the music of soul. So laughter is directly compared to the music of soul. So it's metaphor. Other examples of metaphors: apple of my eye, old flame, heart of gold, melting pot, walking encyclopedia, time is money, fit is a fiddle. Now, light of my life. So these are the examples of metaphors. Here is what this picture shows the difference between simile and metaphor. He says, you are as skinny as a rail. So it's simile, and then this Mr. replies, and you are a mountain. So he's directly saying you are a mountain, and he's not using like or as. So he is talking a metaphor, and this person is talking a simile. The second one is a third one, onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is actually a use of words that imitate natural sounds, and those sounds are associated with the objects or action they refer to. So onomatopoeia means sound sunain, for example boom or clap of thunder. The clap of thunder went bang and scared my poor dog. The lion roared, so roar of lion, crash of car, ring of phone, beeping of horn, and howling of wolf, buzz or sound of bee. These all are the sounds, and the names of these sounds means these words imitate sounds, so they are onomatopoeia. What is paradox now? Paradox is a statement that appears to contradict itself. So it is, we can say, a self-contradictory statement. Paradox is a self-contradictory statement. कई statement में उन्दी पर उनमें contradictions हुंदा. For example, this is beginning of the end, right? So it is beginning of the end. It is self-contradictory. The truth is honey, which is bitter. Now here, truth is honey, and this part is totally contradiction of this part. This is opposite to this part, so it is paradox. Your enemy's friend is your enemy, so it's also paradox. He is a wise fool. Sorry, this is not paradox. No. Done. This. Okay, right. So these are the examples of paradox. Here are some more examples of paradox. All animals are equal, but some are more equal. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. This is also paradox. I know one thing, that I know nothing. It's also self-contradictory statement, so it's also paradox. Child is father of men, यो paradox है. Exams में अक्सर करे, जे lectureship जो test होने हैं में statement देना नहीं पूछना है तो ये कड़ी figure of speech है. So if a statement is given, child is father of men, तो उनमें statement ऐसा के पूछन तीन में figure of speech करो use चलाए तो सजना सी it's paradox. Oxymoron. Oxymoron is a figure of speech in which two contradictory terms or ideas are paired. Remember the difference between oxymoron and paradox. That paradox is self-contradictory statement, but oxymoron is use of contradictory terms or ideas in pair form. So they will be side by side together. We pair में होंदा. For example, they could not wait to get out alone together. Hani alone बचवे थो और together बचवे थो. So it's contradiction. नहीं pair में होंदो वो contradiction. Deeply superficial. I am deeply superficial. He चवे थो तो मां deep भी आया, नहीं very superficial भी आया. So they are opposites. They are contradictory ideas. Honest thief. हानी चोर भी आहे, very honest भी आहे. तो ये oxymoron use चलाए थे. Sweet sorrow, heavy lightness, truthful lie, deafening silence, cruelly kind. So these are the examples of oxymoron, and I hope you understood the difference between oxymoron and paradox. Again, I'm repeating, oxymoron has paired ideas, paired words which are opposite to each other. And in paradox, the statement is there that is self-contradictory, and the statement is contradictory. Hyperbole. Hyperbole is exaggerated statement or any exaggerated idea meant to be taken figuratively rather than literally. So it's just a figure of speech and in which we exaggerate ideas. सिंधी में ऐसा चना हो ना तो माँ तुंहिंजा साल इंतज़ारु कयो आहे, इंतज़ारु 5 मिंट में न कंदो आहे या कलाकनि जो इंतज़ारु कयो आहे. सो इट्स एग्ज़ैजरेशन, वधाए करे पेश कंदा आहियूं जॾहिं असां स्टेटमेंट्स खे त उते उन डिवाइस खे असां हाइपरबोलिक चवंदा आहियूं. So let us see the examples of hyperbole. I am so hungry, I could eat a horse. Oh, so it's a hyperbole. That was the best performance I have ever seen in my entire life. Yeah, common statement हूंदी आहे, common hyperbole हूंदी आहे जेका हर को माण्हू वधाए वधाए पेश कंदो आहे. भली ॿिया केतिरा परफॉर्मेंस बि ॾिठा हुजनि पर हू चवंदो आहे त मां कॾहिं बि न ॾिठी आहे ज़िंदगी में. I would kill for a glass of Coca-Cola. So it's also exaggeration, वधाए थियल पेश थियल आहे. He is older than the hills. It is also hyperbole. I had a ton of chores to do. भली कम ॾींहं में 2 या 3 हुजनि चवंदो मूंखे हज़ारे कम आहिनि त इहा हाइपरबोली आहे, मतिलबु वधाए करे असां स्टेटमेंट खे पेश कंदा आहियूं. This car goes faster than the speed of light. See this. The speed of light खां बि तेज़ वञे थी कार. So these are exaggerations. All right. Now allusion. Allusion is indirect reference. It is an indirect reference that an author makes. Okay. So कॾहिं कॾहिं असां का ॻाल्हि कंदा आहियूं या कोई ॿियो राइटर हूंदो आहे जेको कंहिं ॿी ऑथर या राइटर जी रेफरेंस ॾींदो आहे त प्रीवियस वर्क ऑफ आर्ट मां जेकॾहिं रेफरेंस ॾिए त असां हुनखे एल्यूजन चवंदा आहियूं. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, स्टॉप एक्टिंग सो स्मार्ट, इट्स नॉट लाइक यू आर आइंस्टाइन. त असां हिते आइंस्टाइन जो असां रेफरेंस ॾेई छॾियो. सो इट इज़ एल्यूजन. अप्रैल इज़ द क्रूलेस्ट मंथ. अप्रैल इज़ द क्रूलेस्ट मंथ इहो मेटाफर बि आहे एंड इट इज़ आल्सो allusion. इहो allusion आहे फ्रॉम चासर्स कंटेम्पररी टेल्स. सो चासर जे वर्क मां असां रेफरेंस पिया ॾियूं त इहो allusion थी वियो. Alliteration is the repetition of sounds. Alliteration is the repetition of certain sounds at the beginning of successive words or phrases. So alliteration is used to create rhythm through repetition and to evoke emotions, especially in poetry. So alliteration is a poetry में तकरीबन use थींदी आहे. For example, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So P. This is the repetition of P sound. So it's alliteration. Sarah swam smoothly, silently across the sound. So S. जो sound इते repeat पे थे, it's alliteration. Brett brought bundles of bread to the bakery. It's alliteration. She sells seashells by the seashore. Shells and sounds repeating. So it is alliteration. So when the repetition of sounds occur at the beginning of successive words or phrases, we call it as alliteration. Repetition थी sounds जी. जॾहिं sounds जी repetition थिए थी त असां हुनखे alliteration चवंदा आहियूं. Anaphora. Anaphora is a repetition of words or phrases. Alliteration में repetition of sounds थिए पई ऐं anaphora में repetition of words or phrases at beginning of any sentence or piece of writing. So throughout the writing अगर words and phrases repeat थियनि बार बार असां हुनखे anaphora चवंदा आहियूं. जी एग्जाम्पल असां वटि आहे मार्टिन ल्यूथर जूनियर किंग जेको आहे हुनजी स्पीच आहे आई हैव अ ड्रीम. त उहो पंहिंजी सॼी स्पीच में बार बार साॻा ई वर्ड्स रिपीट कंदो आहे. आई हैव अ ड्रीम दैट वन डे दिस नेशन विल राइज अप. आई हैव अ ड्रीम दैट वन डे द रेड हिल्स ऑफ जॉर्जिया एंड द सन्स ऑफ फॉर्मर स्लेव्स. आई हैव अ ड्रीम दैट वन डे इन द स्टेट ऑफ मिसिसिपी एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. त इन तरीक़े सां उहो सॼी स्पीच में रिपीट कंदो आहे हिननि खे. So this repetition of words or phrases is called anaphora. There are other examples of anaphora also. I saw, I came, I saw, I conquered. Julius Caesar. So this is repetition of word I. It's anaphora. Made world, made kings, made composition. From King John by William Shakespeare. So made and made, they are repeating, they are being repeated, so it's anaphora. It was the best of time, it was the worst of time from Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities is an example of anaphora. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right. Abraham Lincoln. So here in this statement, with word is being repeated. So this is an example of anaphora. We shall not flag or frail, we shall go on to the end, we shall never surrender. So again we can see the repetition, and that's why we call it an anaphora. I hope this is clear. The next one, apostrophe. Apostrophe is a device in which a speaker addresses either an inanimate object or a person who is absent or dead. अगर कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट हुजे असांजे साम्हूं ऐं असां उनखे मुखातिब थी करे ॻाल्हायूं, या को माण्हू आहे जेको ग़ैर मौजूदु आहे या उहो मरी चुको आहे ऐं उन सां असां मुखातिब थी करे ॻाल्हायूं, त हिते असां एपोस्ट्रॉफी यूज़ कंदासीं. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, ओ रोमियो रोमियो, wherefore art thou Romeo. So it's taken from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, but Romeo was absent from that scene. Oh peace, what deeds are done in thy name. Now oh peace त हाणे ॿुधंदो त कोन, पर असां कंहिं बि इनएनिमेट ऑब्जेक्ट खे कंहिं आइडिया खे कॉल कंदा आहियूं, उन सां मुखातिब थींदा आहियूं, उनखे एड्रेस कंदा आहियूं. ॿियो एग्ज़ाम्पल आहे, feet don't fail me now. So he's talking to feet. Sometimes we talk to mirror, sometimes we talk to bird, sometimes we talk to different objects. Hello darkness, my old friend. So here in this way, when we talk to inanimate objects, non-living things, any other objects or dead people, and we address them, and that's apostrophe. Don't tell me now, dear eyes. It's apostrophe. Life, I cannot understand you. So here in this example, she is addressing life. She is calling her and she is telling her that she cannot understand the life. Metonym. Metonym is used when a related word or phrase is substituted for the actual thing which it is referring. असां कॾहिं कॾहिं को वर्ड या कोई फ्रेज़ अहिड़ो ॻाल्हाईंदा आहियूं जेको कंहिं उहा एक्चुअल जेका शइ उनखे रिफर कंदो आहे, उनखे सब्सटीट्यूट कंदा आहियूं जस्ट असां. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, द पेन इज़ माइटियर देन द स्वॉर्ड. हेयर द पेन means it means education or educated people, so that is pen. And sword refers to army or military. White House refers to America. Fine hand. So these are the examples of metonymy. And what about synecdoche? Synecdoche is a literary device in which a part represents the whole or vice versa. असां कोई बि हिकु पार्ट यूज़ कंदा आहियूं, कोई हिकु पार्ट खे असां होल सां सब्सटीट्यूट कंदा आहियूं, या कोई हिकु पार्ट हूंदो आहे जेको सॼी होल खे रिप्रेज़ेंट कंदो आहे. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, help me out, I need some hands. I need some hands जो मतलब है I need help from somebody, from a whole human. So here hand is referring to complete whole human body. Please check out my wheels. Now here wheels means car. He is talking about car. Wheel is a part that is representing whole body of the car. Metonym and synecdoche are not the same. Synecdoche the examples je can unme asa disu the wheels can represent a car, plastic can represent credit cards. When we say coke, we mean Coca-Cola drink. When we say hired hands, it means workers, hired hands sunanwe. Then what's the difference between synecdoche and metonym? The difference is simple. Synecdoche is similar to metonym. However, a metonym does not have to represent whole. It just represents the part. And in synecdoche, we represent a part for whole. Then personification. Personification occurs when we use here, we cannot use is. It's a mistake. Personification occurs when we assign human characteristics to non-human things or objects. इंसान जो जेके ख़ासियतूं जो आहिनि ख़सलतूं जो आहिनि असां उहो नॉन ह्यूमन खे या इनएनिमेट ऑब्जेक्ट्स खे ॾियूं दैट इज़ कॉल्ड पर्सोनिफिकेशन. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल असां चवूं त सिजु अॼु खाए थो, मतिलबु असां उहा ख़ासियत असां उनखे सन खे ॾेई छॾीसीं. द विंड माउंड beckoning me to come outside. The birds lamented. Now this lamentation is characteristic of a human that is assigned to a non-human thing. Birds non-human आहिनि. The flowers bloomed and the bees kissed them. Examples. April is the cruelest month and April खे असां उहा ख़ासियत इंसान वारी ॾेई छॾी, cruel. Other examples of personification: flowers nudged, snowflakes danced, thunder grumbled, the frog crept in, wind howled. Another important literary device is imagery. Imagery is created by the writers by using vivid or clear words, means use of words in such a way that creates images in the mind of reader. That is called imagery. For example, it was dark and dim in the forest. So here the words like dark and dim, the dim are the words that create a kind of picture in our mind. So it is imagery. And the chirping of birds herald the spring. So chirping of birds are also creating a mental picture in our mind. The picture of sounds, that beautiful sounds that birds create. The fresh, juicy orange is very cold and sweet. So the words like fresh, juicy, cold and sweet, these are the words that are creating a kind of picture in our mind. Darkness is all around us. Autumn leaves are a blanket on the ground. Lips tasted as sweet as sugar. Kitten's fur is milky. So now we can see that the words are letting us feel like how soft the tail of a kitten can be. It's just as soft as a milk. It's milky. The houses look like frosted cakes in winter. The light under the door looked buttery. And it is important to note that imagery appeals to our five senses. Repeat. There are 5 types of imagery because, as I told you, that imagery appeals to our 5 senses. So for each sense we have a specific type of imagery. Number 1, auditory imagery. So when we read the words like music, noise, silence, so they appeal to our sense of hearing, and they are called auditory imagery. And when we read the colors like the words like colors, shapes, size, pattern, so they appeal to our sense of sight. उहे असांखे sense of sight खे उहे appeal कंदा आहिनि. त असां in imagery खे असां visual imagery चवंदासीं. And tactile is related to touch. So when you say temperature, movement, texture, and these kind of words that what we touch or feel, they are tactile imagery. And then gustatory imagery is related to taste. So it's related to tongue. So when we read words like sour, sweet, acidic, bitter, salty, so they appeal to our sense of taste, means tongue. And the last one is olfactory imagery. Olfactory imagery describes what we smell. So smell जेका हूंदी आहे, fragrance हूंदी आहे या odor हूंदी आहे, it appeals to our sense of smell, and that's why it is called olfactory imagery. Olfactory means related to nose, and gustatory means related to tongue, and tactile means related to skin. Visual is related to eye, and auditory is related to ear. So these were the types, these were the important literary terms that we talked about. and I hope that you got these terms with examples. इन्हनि खे तव्हां practice कंदा रहो, and because practice makes the man perfect. The more you practice, the more you have grip over them. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.